Rangers win, baby, 4-3 over the Vancouver Canucks. And this was definitely a very boring game to watch, if I'm being completely blunt, completely honest. This was not an entertaining game by any stretch of the imagination, but at least the Rangers come out with the 2 points. I'm not impressed, though. I'm really not. I thought that they played sloppy a lot of this game, and I thought that Vancouver kind of outplayed them for a good amount of this game. It definitely was not a pretty enough win for my likings, and yeah, I think that you need to be better. Defensive lapses happen, sloppy passes happen, and it's just you go from what you did against Calgary on Monday night, and then you just stay away from most of it for most of the night. It just is beyond me. But we're going to talk further about it. Before we do, remember to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. We cover them heavily here on the channel. And turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. But let's start and talk about this. So Vancouver takes a very early penalty. Dakota Johnson takes a high sticking penalty. Rangers go on the power play and they can't convert. Mika Zibanejad had a chance that rung off the crossbar there. That was really about it. But the Rangers would end up scoring after that as Trocheck gets a fast break opportunity off of a feed from Keandre Miller, and he dishes it over to Chris Kreider. Kreider taps it into the open net, has no problem with that, and that makes it a 1-0 game early. And then the Rangers wouldn't take too long to make it 2-0 as Kakko ends up winning a board battle in the corner there. It was a weird board battle win, but sure. Gives it out to Phil Peedle, who makes a nice little move to get it by Martin, and that makes it a 2-0 game. So the Rangers looking good early, and I thought that they got a lot of good chances. They were generating scoring opportunities like they did on Monday night. They were just staying aggressive on the forecheck, which I liked, and they weren't giving much defensively, and they were playing very quality hockey. And then for whatever reason, after that second goal, it just a switch went off, and they decided to take their foot off the gas completely. And this goes back to the coaching, where why are these guys taking their foot off the gas with 2-goal leads night in and night out? It just, again, I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it, but it's pissing me off to watch it night in and night out, them do this constantly. But again, it falls on coaching, And then Vancouver, towards the end of the period, would end up making it 2-1 as Connor Garland would score from Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes just ends up walking in all alone completely. And yeah, zero defense at all. I think Schneider and Harper also got mixed up because Harper ended up going on the wrong side. And then you had that whole scenario play out. And the fourth line was just not good enough tonight whatsoever, which we'll talk further about later on. But yeah, this was just a bad goal that ended up happening, and that made it a 2-1 game. And forgot to mention too, Vinny Trocheck took his game-winning penalty, which, yeah, shocking. But thankfully the Rangers didn't take any more penalties. Second period comes around, and the Rangers, they started off slow yet again, or not slow. I'd say they started off okay the second period, but wasn't good enough. And then they ended up scoring, though, somehow, as Jacob Trouba just throws one on goal, and Alexi Lafreniere is there to tap it in because he taps in goals all the time. And Keandre Miller also picked up an assist on this. That made it 3-1. So we're feeling good there. And then Vasily Podkolzin, of course, gets his first of the season against the New York Rangers later on in the period. And this made it 3-2, and JT Miller got the assist on this one. Completely forgot even what happened on this goal. I think that it was another scenario where it was a turnover, and then they end up just letting him walk right in. Yeah, Ryan Lindgren with a bad turnover on this one. That I remember now, yeah. And then got set up for that. So, yeah. Another thing that can't happen, a bad turnover like that from Ryan Lindgren cannot happen. You need to be better. And then the Rangers got a power play after that as Shen goes off for interference. And the Rangers do nothing on the power play. The power play goes back to making us all want to vomit as per usual. So, yeah, nothing new there. Shots in the second period were 8-7 in favor of Vancouver. Shots in the first, by the way, were 7-5 in favor of the Rangers. I forgot to mention that. Third period comes around, and not much is happening at all. The Canucks take a early penalty. Or not an early penalty. They took the penalty later in the period. I don't know what I'm talking about, an early penalty. But regardless, they started off again just not good enough. And it took until late into the period for them to score. Mika Zibanejad from Trouba and Panarin. This was just another weird goal there, but whatever. And then Vancouver scores right afterwards as Elias Pettersson scores from Hughes and Besser. Igor and Trouba just Trouba lets Pettersson walk in, and Igor has to make that save after 4-3 game. And then the Rangers get the empty net opportunity as Filipino gets to try and score there, but Besser ends up going off for tripping for whatever reason. They then just award him the goal, but it is what it is. The Rangers hold on and win 12-7 in favor for the Canucks in the third period for shots. Shots in the game 25-21 in favor of Vancouver. 50-50 in the face-off dot apiece. So not dominated in the face-off dot tonight. 25-21 in favor of the Rangers for hits. Block shots 14-11 in favor of the Canucks. Giveaways 20-11. Or 20 for the Rangers, I should say. 11 for the Canucks. Yikes. Yikes. Need to be better. Need to be better. A lot that I didn't like. A lot. The first line was okay. Again, I would have liked a bit more. Panarin had a breakaway opportunity at one point in this game, ended up firing wide on that one. That's really the only thing that Artemi Panarin did tonight that was good. He got an assist, sure, but again, needs to be better. Zibanejad ends up getting a goal, 3 shots on goal. Wrong one off the post, was dominated in the faceoff dot all night. He was okay for the most part. And then Jimmy Vesey, he turned the puck over way too much tonight. Same with Mika Zibanejad, though. So, yeah, they both need to be better in that department. Second line for Trocheck, Kreider, and Gaudreau. They were okay. I thought that they were probably the second best line of the night. I thought that Trocheck had a pretty decent night for the most part. Not anything spectacular, but he ends up picking up a point. He was physical tonight, and he definitely looked solid for the most part, outside of taking that stupid penalty, as he does every single game. And then Kreider and Gaudreau, they were both pretty solid for the most part tonight as well. I don't have any complaints. Thankfully, Kreider hit that empty net. That's for damn sure. But yeah, and then Kreider at one point looked like he was shaken up during the game. Thankfully, he ended up being okay. So that was a bit of a worrisome moment. Kid line, they looked good tonight yet again. Lafreniere, Hedl, and Kakko continued to be great, and they were the best line of the night easily. Philip Hedl continues to be unreal, and that is going to be one hell of a contract that he is going to get. Yikes, I'm scared of what he's going to get paid. And for Kakko and Lafreniere, they were both solid tonight as well, so I have no complaints there whatsoever from them. And then the fourth line, I thought they weren't good enough. I thought Coley was kind of dull tonight. I didn't really like his game. And then Blais and Lecision, they both had a lot of boneheaded plays throughout the entire night. I wasn't a fan of how they all played. I really wasn't, if I'm being completely honest. And then for the defensive squad, Lindgren and Fox, they were not good enough tonight as well. Lindgren, that turnover, need to be better. Adam Fox had an okay night, but there were times where he was caught out of position too many times. Need to be better. The second pair was definitely the best pair of the night. Miller and Trouba both had a very good night for the most part. No complaints there. Yeah, I don't really have many complaints, honestly, with that defensive pair, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, there's that. And they were on for all the goals. So, yeah, solid night for them. Solid night for them. And then Schneider and Harper both need to be better. Both had rough games, especially Harper. Harper, I've not liked this game at all, and he got benched. Drury might want to get on the phone, get another defenseman in here. And then Igor wasn't good enough as well. There were a couple of saves that he probably wanted there back. But yeah. That is that. Let's get to Twitter. Sorry that I'm keeping this video short. I don't really have much to say about this game. It was a very boring and dull game. So, it is what it is. I also got back super late, so I'm not in the mood really to go too crazy with this one. New York Style 24 says, man, paying Heedle is going to be fun. Yeah, especially when Dylan Cousins just got the contract that he got. It's going to be interesting to see what Philip Heedle gets. My prediction was always 4.5 to 5. Yikes, that might not be the case anymore. It's getting pricey. It's definitely getting pricey, and I'm scared. But yeah, Philip Heedle has just been great lately. He really has. And then Kazoo says, in your opinion, is Philip Heedle a product of Kakko and Lafreniere? Is Kakko and Lafreniere a product of Philip Heedle in terms of production since they were reunited? I think Laffy and Kakko are definitely a product of Philip Heedle. Philip Heedle's just been unreal, and he's been the play driver of that entire kid line. I think that you gotta say that's been Philip Heedle, the one that's been doing all that. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Philip Heedle has been the play driver for the most part. And then Matthew says, not a pretty game, to be honest. I don't care as long as they get the 2 points because we know this won't be the same lineup after the deadline. Not pretty, but I don't think people should think too much into the game. Thought Igor had a tough time getting into the game because of a lack of shots. Not a fan of VC on the first line, but it will hold until the deadline. I completely agree with everything you said. The roster is going to look different beyond the trade deadline, so don't have to worry about that, hopefully at least. And then, yeah, VC isn't cutting it at all on the first line. I was mentioning it all game. He needs to be on the fourth line, and it needs to happen soon because it is just tough to watch him out there. And then, yeah, Igor, not only did he have a lack of shots against him to get him into the game, which is a fair point, it's also that it's been a while since he started a game, right? Outside of the All-Star game, which who cares? He hasn't really had a lot of game action, so it's hard. It's hard to be in that scenario, but that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.